So, in the warm-up room, now warming up for the clean and jerk. Of course, the heavier weights lifted in this move. Romanian just putting 70 kilos on the bar. Athletes will normally warm up to within 10 kilos of their opening poundage. And there's the leader in the snatch. Of course, the bar weighs 20 kilos. The reds are 25, the blues are 20, yellows 15, and the greens are 10.
And it looks pretty close, David, because the posted weights to start with here, well, Durbaniev 145, Artuch 145, and the Moldavian got also 145. That's the young 14-year-old, though, 100 kilos, and that equals his personal best.
Yes, and with his 90 snatch, gives him a personal best in the total of 190 kilos. Good experience for him. Certainly somebody to look out for in the future.
Not too young to be appearing on a stage like this? Some people might ask.
No, I don't think so. I think it's all good experience. I would like to think that he'll be inspired by his competitors' performances rather than sort of, overwrought by it.
So he's going to follow himself. I thought he might actually. He's just put the bar up at 2.5 kilos, which means that we've got a couple of minutes to chat about it. David, you're getting ready for the Commonwealth Games. One or two people, I think might be interested to know the sort of routine that you now are embarked on. We're within just a couple of months now. You're going to be lifting in the 77 kilo class.
Yeah, well, I mean, at the moment I'm working full-time, so I'm only managing to do one session a day in the morning, six days a week. But when we've got when we're a bit nearer, when we've got 10 weeks to go, I've got somebody else who's going to be doing my work for me, and I'll start doing double sessions. And hopefully that'll give me the required increase in poundage, and hopefully my body won't break down.
But take one of those sessions, David. Take us into 10 weeks from now, when you start to really have to put the effort in, and you're going to have to apply yourself. Just tell us, what are those sessions going to involve? What are you going to do?
Well, there's two schools of thought in weightlifting. Bulgarians, for example, will they'll just do the snatch, the clean and jerk, and squats. So they believe in doing the full movements, and they'll do them twice a day, and they'll do them fairly heavy.
For how long and how many?
Well, they'll go heavier. They'll probably go to 90% in the morning, with 2 or 3 repetitions, 2 or 3 single repetitions, and then they'll come back in the afternoon, and then they'll come back again in the evening. And this type of training is quite hard on the body and quite hard on the mind. Whereas the Germans, for instance, will take a different approach. They'll split the movements up, do lots of sort of half movements where they're doing pulls and variations on the movements, and then closer to the competition they'll do more of the actual lifts. I'll be doing the second, the German type method.
Well, you just saw the young 14-year-old take a 10 kilo increase, move up to 110 kilos, and he's decided that he can go a bit further than 112.5. So what that means is that his elder teammate Barkici of Albania, who's 35 years of age, looks as if he's going to come in and open up at 115 kilos. And that's well below his personal. Has in his time snatched 130, clean and jerked 130 kilos. So this is modest, but then of course everything depends on his condition at this particular moment. David, let's just return to the Commonwealth Games, go into your sessions. Could you take us in, try and take us inside a day of yours in those sessions when, you take us into the room and tell us exactly what you're trying to do.
I think the key factor, I mean, obviously you're going to be doing the snatch and the clean and jerk and some squatting movements. I think the key thing that will be different the 10 weeks before is, well, the thing that makes the difference is the not working and the ability to recover and do more sessions. So a typical day would be a morning session followed by lunch, a couple of hours rest, maybe even a couple of hours sleep, then back into the gym again and perhaps a heavier session. And all the time you're balancing, doing the maximum amount of work that you can recover from. It's a very fine balance, because if you slightly overstep the mark, this is when injuries start coming in, and you have to be quite disciplined, because obviously if your training is going very, very well and you're feeling very good, sometimes when perhaps you should back off, you want to keep going. So
what about simulating the day? I mean by that, the time of day that you're going to lift.
Well, I'm lifting at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so my afternoon sessions would be around that time.
That's a good time to lift, actually, isn't it?
It's a good time to lift, yeah. But having said that, it doesn't really matter what time you lift, because it's the same for all the competitors. Even if you were lifting at 6 in the morning, if everybody's got to do it, then it makes no difference.
So this is another personal best if he can do. Oh, well, he's given everything. That's 110 kilos for the youngster. And a pretty good debut on the senior European stage. Let's hope we see a little bit more of him in the years to come.
Yeah, and the main thing is, I think he's enjoyed himself. Exactly, enjoyed himself, did a personal best total, got a glimpse of what it's all about.
Commonwealth Games, though, returning to that, David, I mean, it is a great opportunity for British lifting. I mean, you'll be representing Wales again.
Well, it's great for British lifting, because obviously we've got the England, Ireland, Scotland and Wales, so we're able to put 4 times as many competitors in, so it's, you can get more athletes from Great Britain in that way. So it's we've got a history of doing very, very well in Commonwealth Games, so all British lifters really put a lot of effort into their training and enjoy it. It's almost like our Olympic Games, if you like.
Having said that, this is the first time that women's weightlifting is going to be in the Commonwealth Games. That's going to give a great opportunity to, some of the Asian Commonwealth countries. The Indian women we know are very, very, very strong, so we can look forward to good performances from them. Might not be quite so easy this time for the host countries to dominate.
Well, things, like all sports, things are changing in weightlifting. For example, the Australians are getting Armenians to lift for them. If you look at the Greek weightlifting team, there are very few actual true Greeks on the Greek weightlifting team. If we look at this Qatar team, none of them are from Qatar. They're all just second-string Bulgarian weightlifters that have been sold to Qatar, and that's their team. So with all these going on, it does get harder. And then, of course, you've got countries that take weightlifting very seriously, like the Polish women that we discussed earlier, setting up schools for weightlifting, putting lots of money in, and I think this is the key factor. People expect the English or the British to compete very, very well, but it's not easy to compete at top level when you have to work, when you don't have the funding. It's because you're up against people that have been chosen because of their talent, so they're selected as school children because they think that they will be good at weightlifting, and then they're given everything they need to be good at weightlifting. So for somebody from Great Britain to take a medal in a world championship or a European championships is a pretty big feat.
And one or two people might actually just, David, why you on your route to the Commonwealth Games that you didn't fancy taking part in the Europeans here themselves?
I'm too busy sitting talking with you, aren't I?
That apart. That apart, our good friend.
Because I have no interest in it. I've won medals in World Championships. I've won medals in European Championships in the past. This will actually be my 6th Commonwealth Games. My first Games was in 1982. I've been lifting for 25 years. My motivation, in getting a medal in the Commonwealth Games is that I want to get more medals than any other weightlifter has ever gotten, than any other athlete has ever achieved. That's my motivation. There's no motivation in coming here for me, and it's unrealistic. The standard is higher here. I'm a 38-year-old going up against 20-year-olds. It's unrealistic.
Well, here's a 35-year-old.
I'm a 38-year-old. Makes all the difference, Dave.
125 kilos. Third and final attempt. And that's the first mistake. So he's got 5 out of 6.
We need 130 kilos on the bar.
And now things will move up a gear now as we get to the men who are really going to fight out for this championship. Just to remind you, at the halfway stage, Debenev of Belarus leading by 2.5 kilos, the heaviest man in the class. And this is the younger of the two Turkish. This is Akdi Gülbe. 130 kilos for openers for him. Down in 6th place at the halfway stage and 20 odd kilos behind Derbinev of Belarus.
Well, we've seen that happen a few times. Yes, the bar very, very tightly against the windpipe, and this stadium quite hot.
Yeah, you can see it perfectly there, can't you? Good picture, and you can see just it's right up against the windpipe there. So Eric Bonnell, first stepping stones back to yet another Olympic challenge for him, which will be Athens 2004. They tell us that the newly built, or it will be newly built, weightlifting hall will be ready by December 2003.
Of course, if it isn't, Sydney said that they'd be quite prepared to do it all over again.
No, I think it'll be there, but I think there'll be quite a few palpitations.
This is the best place. This is the best place here.
Eric Bonnell of France, first lift. So he's got to follow himself.
Bit of encouragement there from Halil Mutlu for his teammate. Slap on the back with the good arm.
I'm sure he's got the strength to do this. He's just got to get the clean right.
Yeah, it's just psychological. Perhaps needs to get it off his shoulders a bit quicker. That's more like it now. The drive.
There you are. Pity he didn't do it the first time.
Well, that's weightlifting. as we've said so many times before, it's not just about being strong.
Gives him a running total of 235 at the moment. It's not going to be good enough for a medal, but he is the younger and he is the newcomer in the squad at this category. So Eric Bonnell, 132.5, modest increase.
I think he'll be taking more.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Eric Bonnell from France. 132.5 kilos for second.
No, he's taking 132.5.
Yeah, staying. Was he not happy or is he no, he's not happy.
Stop.
The clock now.
He wants 100. He must want 135.
Exactly.
We need 100.
They should have listened to you.
They should have done.
Kilos on the bar.
Well, the 130 was easy. I would have been very surprised if he'd only taken a 2.5 kilo jump.
They're going to give him a minute.
Well, the clock has been stopped at 30 seconds, so they should reset it, which they have done.
It's okay.
35 kilos for second.
Yes, Eric has a personal best of 147.5. But this is his first competition since Sydney. So just feeling his way back.
Yeah, that's okay.
So the bar now at 135 kilos. Now those of you who still work in pounds, that's 297 pounds. So we're just a shade under 300 pounds. Remember, these men weigh 56 kilos, which is 8 stone 11 pounds. So they're under 9 stone, and they're now lifting nearly 300 pounds.
So the younger of the Turks to come through now. 137 on the bar for him. So this is quite an uplift, David. 7.5 kilos. This is question is himself. Maybe he's trying to recapture the fact that he had that first failure. His plan was to get here, but now he's having to take this in one gulp.
That's right. And I also said earlier that these are men under 9 stone that were approaching the 300-pound mark. We've now gone over 137.5 kilos. That's 303 pounds. So we're way in excess of double body weight here.
So inside 30 seconds now. If he does this, I think it'll do really, really well. Clean is okay. No, that's what I feared, that he didn't have the strength to chuck the bar over his head.
So he finished with a total of 235, 105 snatch and 130 clean and jerk. And he can now sit back and see if his teammate Archuk can bring home another gold medal for Turkey.
So that sequence there, I mean, it gives him, just referring back to the younger of the two Turks, Akti Gulbay, gives him a total of what?
235.
235, but that is some 20 kilos below his best. This is Bonnell with 140.
think he's done very. I mean, his best is 147. I think he's done very well. I mean, that looked easy.
Yes, and I think he's got the long-term plan in his mind. You know, it's his first senior competition back, so he gets a 140. It goes with the 110. It gives him 250. It's to put it in perspective, it's well. I say that's well below what he normally does, but because he had a nightmare at Sydney and only lifted 252.5. But when he's on, you know, his regular form, 260, 262.5, 265 his personal best, that's very possible. So I think look for better things for him in Warsaw in the World Championships. It'll be the next, you know, step. Yeah. Now the man who's got the advantage of lighter body weight over most of his rivals, but against Debenev, he's got a 2.5 kilo deficit to make up. And these two men, Artuch in picture and Debenev waiting in the wings, both posting 145 starters.
Well, I was about to say, always strong in the first phase of this movement, but does struggle with the jerk.
Well, he struggled in the World Championships here. He tried 147.5, not once but twice. Then he managed it in the World Championships at the third attempt, but those failures ultimately cost him a major medal because he was down in 4th place. He was also 4th in the Europeans last year, and the best he could manage there in the clean and jerk was 140. So he is fragile in this part of the competition.
So this man, the leader after the snatch, remember, did 125 kilos, now starting on at 145. This will give him the overall lead and the lead on the clean and jerk. Of course, he's already won the snatch. That looked easy. So did that.
This medal's going to Belarus unless something dramatic happens. We've got the Moldavian to come, though. We've also got the Zhigao, Romania, so I might be a bit premature, but I tell you what, he's impressing me.
Yes, this could be his day.
Igor Garavuchev from Moldova, 145 kilos for first attempt.
Grabusha, the Moldavian, 145 kilos. Oh, he's a tough candidate, and because he's got lighter body weight, what it means is that he moves into the lead in the clean and jerk. But he's got 2.5 kilos to find on the Belarus lifter.
145 kilos for first attempt.
So Derbanev still in the driving seat overall. And now Zhigao also at 145. Now this is 2.5 kilos more than he announced. So let's hope, David, that this is not wishful thinking, but more to the point that his warm-up has gone well and that he's feeling good and he's in the mood to try and make up a 5 kilo deficit on Derbanev.
Slightly rushed, but
well, it was all over the place. I mean, we saw the the quick step and the dance, but eventually the feet were in line.
Yes, 2-1 decision. So it's good.
It's good, but it's not as convincing as Debenev, is it? So now Artuch to take his second attempt at 145. He's got to get this. He will be in real trouble, David, if he doesn't get this, because the pressure will really be on him then, and he might then just crumble completely. So let's hope he can do this.
Always good on the clean now. That's better.
That's exactly what we needed, and well done to Sedat Artuch. So 145 to go with the 122 gives him 260.
267.
267 and a half, and just keeps him in touch. But Derbanev has got 2 lifts. He's only got 1 more to go.
Yes, and Derbanev is on 270 anyway.
Exactly. So the Moldavian, Grabush, arguably the one man who can spoil things. Zhigao, to me.
Yes, he worried me on the last lift, though, the Moldavian. If you watched him after the clean, he was very, very shaky, and I thought he was going to black out and drop the weight, but he managed to compose himself and finish the lift.
Now, this is 147 and a half. Now, remember, he was 2.5 kilos down at the halfway stage behind Derbanev, so this would pull him level, and it would also put him ahead overall because he's lighter in terms of body weight. So important lift this again.
A bit shaky again. Can he compose? Oh, that's amazing.
Oh. I really thought it was there on his shoulders for so long that he was never going to get it up, but he's a gutsy character.
I was amazed. He almost dipped in slow motion, still managed to get the weight to arm's length. And then after all that effort, down it came.
Well, everything's going Derbanev's way at the moment. Zhigao, Grabusha and Artuch all under pressure, and it looks to me, David, as if they're going to play for silver and bronze. And the question is when do they decide? You see, they've not got that many lifts. I mean, Grabusha's only got 1 more lift, Zhigao's got 2, and Artuch has only got 1. So what do they do now? Do they sort of say, well, look, chances are that Derbanev's going to go away with this, but if we keep thinking of him, we're going to forget about the silver and bronze, and suddenly we could be losing out because there's only 3 overall medals at stake and there's 4 of them involved. So there's Artuch and Zhigao and Grabusha, and they're really fighting for silver and bronze, those 3, and one of them's going to be unhappy. If you could just get the clean, this...
Well, he has to come out for this because this lift will put him in the lead by virtue of lighter body weight. So it's an important lift. He was so close last time.
Yes, I mean, when you consider that also he had a 2.5 kilo advantage over Zhigao from the first half of the competition, and Artuch is looking no more convincing than he is. He's got every chance of ending up with an overall silver medal here if he can pick this up.
Well, he could even win it if he could pick this up.
Well, we're assuming that something's going to happen with Derbanev, but not to be. So the 147.5 goes with the 122.5, which gives him 250 kilos. And if I'm right, It's 145.
3 numara Vitali Galbanov, Belarus, 150 kilogram ikinci kaldırış.
That's 100. What's it? 270.
150 kilos for
270 at the moment. Well, Durbanev has got 150 posted, and I would guess if he succeeds with this,
It's all over. 267 for 267.5 for Grabusha. Apologies about the mathematics, but he's the leader in the clubhouse speak. But Durbanev really is the active leader. So 150 is for 275. Is there a problem?
well, not with 150, there isn't. So that, yeah, puts him on 275.
So Durbanev, who was third in the European Championships last year in Trenčín, 7th in the Olympic Games, and he's now totaled up, interestingly enough, 275, which was his total in Sydney. And when he did that total in Sydney, he did 125 on the snatch and 150, of course, on the clean and jerk. So he's right on his Olympic mark.
Having said this, if Gigout is successful with this clean and jerk of 150, although it won't give him the overall title, it will put him into some place, and it will put him in the lead on the clean and jerk because of his lighter body weight. Because remember, Durbanev weighed in right on the money at 56 dead, whereas Gigout is 55.75. So he's going for a gold medal on the clean and jerk, but they've both got one lift left.
Well, he wouldn't carry any of my money, Gigout.
Very, very strong on the clean. I mean, the weight's nothing. I'm sure he could clean 155. The question is, what is he going to do? Is he going to go for 150 again, or is he going to try 155?
Well, the situation he's got at the moment is he's only got 145. He's only got 265. So really, what he's got to look at is where he's going to end up. The fortunate thing is that here comes, or in a moment here comes, Artuç, Turkey. So the great thing for Gigout is he's going to know exactly what he has to do. He can either play, you know, heroics, or he can just go for the silver medal, which is what I think the intelligent decision will be.
7 numara Andrean Gigout, Romanya, 150 kilogram 3. kaldırış.
Adrian Gigout from Romania, 150 kilos for 30.
Strange without Mutlu and all those records. 168 kilos, the world and European record, and it just shows you what a chasm there is between arguably the world's greatest lifter of the moment, Halil Mutlu.
So a bit of tactics going on now, because the Romanian is posted, Gigout, to come out again on 150, and Artuç, the Turk, has decided he's going to wait and see what he needs. At the moment, he needs 152.5 to go into first place, because he only weighed in at 55.55. So maybe he wants to wait and do something big in front of the home crowd, or at least try something big.
The situation with Artuç is that if he, you know, he's got at the moment he's got 145 with 122.5, which is 267.5. Now, because of his lighter body weight, that puts him ahead of the Moldavian. So his philosophy is
nothing to lose.
His philosophy is exactly what you see now: push the Romanian out first. It was never going to happen. He never looked to me as if he was convinced that he could lift that weight. So the advantage now swings back to Artuç, who basically, David, has got nothing.
Yeah, and he can almost sit back and wait and see what's needed. Now he's put 100. Now this is what he's done. He's put 152.5 on. If he succeeds with 152.5, it puts him back into the lead by virtue of lighter body weight over Durbanev. But of course, Durbanev still has one lift to go. So I would guess that Durbanev would take the 152.5. But of course, that would only give him the overall. It wouldn't give him the clean and jerk over the Turk.
Yes, and then he'd have to decide whether he just went for the championship title, because putting 155 on to try and grab everything might cost him dear. So
I think he'll clean this. The jerk, I'm not sure. But in front of a home crowd, you never know. Let's clean it now. This is where he normally has the problems.
Well, I'm disappointed that you're right, because it would have been great if he could have just managed to do it on the home stage, but not to be. And it does leave him with a total of 267.5 and in second place overall, because the championship has been decided already, with 275 kilos going to Durbanev, who now has truly a lift for nothing. He can do what he wants, to be honest. He doesn't need to take this, but I think he will.
I think he will, yeah.
I think he wants to complete the sequence. He looks to me as if he's full of confidence, that he's come in feeling really good. He's very fit, and he wants to make it 6 out of 6. So 150.5 on the kilos, no heroics. And this is for a new personal best on the clean and jerk. This would give him a total of 277.5, which is also a new personal best for him. So that's his motivation. Raise his personal standard. And he's done just that. And as a result of that, there's going to be a very attractive young lady who's going to carry the flag of Belarus to the top of the podium in a few minutes from now. So the championship at 56 kilos goes to Belarus, and the winner, Vitaly Durbanev, at the age of 25, achieving his best ever senior competition result. If you go back in recent times, world champion at junior level back in '96 in Poland, well, he was a silver medalist there. The European Championships junior level again in the same year in Prague, he got a silver medal. Since then, in the senior ranks in the European Championships in Sofia in 2000, before the Olympic Games, he was 5th in Europe, he was 7th in the Olympics, he was bronze medalist in Trenčín behind Halil Mutlu and Adrian Jigau last year. But tonight here in Antalya, he's the champion. He's lifted well, he hasn't failed any one of his 6 attempts, and he's been the man to beat all the way through. So the door was there to be opened by someone with the injury to Halil Mutlu, and this is the man who's grasped the opportunity. So just readying now for the podium ceremony, and here's the result of the clean and jerk there. You can see he takes that title as well with a new personal best. Artuch there, 145 kilos, getting the silver medal, ahead of Jigau by virtue of the lighter body weight, and Grabusha of Moldavia pushed out of the medals also because of the heavier body weight that he has. You can see 55.75 for Jigau, 55.80 for Grabusha of Moldavia. With Bonnell on his comeback, probably not too unhappy with that 140, and then the younger of the two Turks there, ahead of the more experienced Albanian, and the young 14-year-old Albanian. Well, he's at the bottom, but I tell you what, he really enjoyed himself here, and that's not bad. As you see the overall result, the championship won with 277.5 kilos, and that compares with Halil Mutlu a year ago, who took the European Championship in Trenčín with a total of 302.5.